Alright, so this is our first match right here. Let me get rid of Ragnarok. Apparently he wants in on this game as well, but he's not going to be able to. Anyway, in the top right side, we're going to have ourselves the Teamless Terran in the red, BYUN. In the bottom left side, we got ourselves the blue Protoss player fighting for good gaming patience. Had to check there for a moment. Hope he still is with the good gamers. The good gamers gang. Alright. Never gets old. I always thought that it was actually a Chinese team, but I believe now, at least I seem to understand, it's actually a Korean team. Which instantly made me appreciate the name more for some reason. I don't know what that's about. I think I just assume whatever Korea is doing is very fashionable or something. What's up, Natsu? How you doing? Have you guys enjoyed the StarCraft 2 of earlier before? Of course, the pro circuits. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Had to run in and out here and there, but Star Innovation and Cure, quite the TVT, quite the series there. It got quite wild indeed. Okay, so what do we have developing so far in this game? It really does seem pretty clear cut that both players are intending to do the macro builds quite heavily. So BYUN here, not mining a lot of gas. We might be able to take away then that he wants to do the barracks play overall here, and then perhaps with even another command center along the line as well. So there is that second barracks. Patience so far. Let's take a look. Mining a decent amount. He's gonna get himself the Twilight Council. Twilight Council, a wonderful way to play defensive while also being able to play offensively at the same time. I guess there's some ways you could get overwhelmed all of a sudden with the tech, but it's a pretty good, strong opening, and has become pretty much the staple, I guess, for the PVT opening here. Stargate's also still quite popular. We'll probably never really get rid of Stargate, right? I highly doubt it. Like, I don't think there will ever be a time where people are like, you know that Stargate thing? I guess that wasn't as much good stuff as we thought it was. Which I think is a good thing, you know? Don't get me wrong, I think it's a good thing. Patience, getting a bit feisty with a Dark Shrine and another gateway out on the map. We'll try to get his DT swapped in from there, I'd imagine. Because the same could be said about all the races, of course. All of the other aspects. But, yeah. So that shows that it is well developed overall. Clearly thought out. Okay. Should have the DTs coming in here momentarily, guys. Let's take a look at the amount of energy on top of these command centers right now. We do have one that is about to have a scan. If lucky, BYUN will not use this for the Mew, and he will not. So he does have one scan available. Brings up the wall. Okay, gets one of the DTs. The other one does manage to kind of stay out of sight. Might be more on the way here, of course. Ooh, almost still gets it a bit too close. Perhaps we can get another vision on. Alright, still a little bit away. The missile turret is going to finish up here as well as one that is in the main base. DT seem to have kind of had their moments, and they didn't manage to do all that much. They killed Did they kill Marines there? I guess they killed some Marines there. Did other units already kill Marines? Maybe some Adepts killed Marines as well, actually, right? Nope, apparently not. Alright. Oh. Oh, that is rough. That is rough. War Prism flies over the Marines right there. That is not really how you want the match to go. Really was intending to use that War Prism, of course, to ferry in the Dark Templar. Now, he's going to have to use the Dark Templar defensively. Needs to make sure to perhaps kind of spread them out a little bit so they don't all die in one scan, which is kind of what happens here. And unfortunately, GG is called. BYUN just kind of manages to slip up there and take the game quite easily. Well played there by BYUN. Getting himself the first victory on the board. That means we're going to go into the second game with him on the first point advantage. Then afterwards we'll still have, well, probably more of this match because that would be only 2 games overall. Alright. Actually, I should put this other thing up as well. Where is it? There it is. Lovely. Because we're going to have a lot of the logging off and logging on. Anyway, how you guys been doing? Doing alright? Having a good time overall? Let's see if Neo or Natsu are still here. Maybe Inu. Well, to be fair, after a long stream like that, you probably don't stick around that long in other people's stream either. Usually when I stream or raid people, also, I don't stick around too long because, you know, you've just had a long time casting StarCraft 2, and then you want to go try to get your food, stuff like that, right? Gotta take care of yourself. All right, second game here of the best of 5 will be played on Death Aura. In the top left side, we got the Terran in the red. 1 point on the board already. He is BYUN. Bottom right side, blue Protoss from Good Game Gaming. He is Patience. He is Patience himself. He is so patient that he has claimed the term Patience as his name. People refer to him by the name Patience. I always like to see BYUN in the TVP. I feel like this is a pretty good matchup of his. Maybe a little bit underrated. Everybody always goes on about the TVZ, but I think there might also be people just kind of wanting to see TVZ usually a bit more often, perhaps. Overall, I've seen some statistics where people got to vote on what their favorite matchup is. TVZ does seem to be the matchup. Then again, there's still a lot of variables within that as well, right? Like, do you like to watch that more so because there is the it's the matchup itself? But would you then, if you put another question in the mix, like, all right, would you rather watch TVZ between 2 players you don't really watch, or would you rather watch your favorite player in a matchup that doesn't quite interest you as much, right? Not sure what I would prefer. Honestly, just a good match. That's my cup of tea. Don't get me wrong. Usually these pro players, they do provide a pretty fine match. You know, they do provide pretty good StarCraft 2 overall, but is there a but? Well, yeah, maybe. It's very clean, very crisp. You don't see the fumbles of life sometimes kick in as much within as within the, you know, the tiers below the pro master scene, as they call it, within Europe as well, of course, and America. Pretty crazy to look back on this game as well. Consider how we were looking at the TV screen, being like, alright, maybe this non-Korean has a chance to take a map. And when they did take a map off a non-Korean, everyone was like, oh my god. It happens. They bleed. Now the entire world is just upside down. Little poke there. BYUN surprised that the Stalker ran away like that, I suppose. Had a bit of a recall. Not much going on just quite yet. No workers were lost in the process. No units were harmed either.
Research is done. That one's been inbound for years.
As BYUN going a bit of the same barracks route here. Looks like he once again will try to go for this big push with the Marines and the Marauders. The Blink Stalker is obviously a better kind of army unit against this, rather than the Dark Templar. As the Dark Templar, their biggest weakness is of course the scan, which BYUN can summon anywhere on the map. Right, off he goes to adventure. All the Stalkers are still in the base of Patience, so that's a good thing here for BYUN overall. Doesn't give Patience a lot of wiggle room, not a lot of momentum for him to force out a stim perhaps, or pick off a couple of units as he micros backwards, right? It's already in his face with the structures on the line, and perhaps even his probes. So most likely that is what BYUN will be stimming in here for. Doesn't quite deny the blink upgrade. Does spend a good amount of time attacking the Twilight Council there on good stim time. Has to do another stim right now. Well, he is on the probes. That's a lot of probe kills. Guys, I don't like to sugarcoat it, but that is... Ooh, that's an ungodly amount. Now, if you're going to get a couple of Stalkers with this as well, it's important to try and get a couple of army units at least. Otherwise, the counterattack does just kind of stampede all over you. But it looks like BYUN pretty good in his position here. The 3 barracks seem to be providing him with ample amounts of infantry, and yeah, the Blink Stalkers, they may have their hands full. Let's see, they have an observer, so they are capable of just kind of jumping around. Might force BYUN to, of course, split up his units, which might provide opportunities here for Patience to start picking some off, but... Oh, he loses the observer though. Nice. Okay. Plan B. Send in the other observer. That's plan B. That's a wonderful plan B. Robotics Bay also coming up. Third base of Patience here getting produced. That's around the same time as that of BYUN's. Does he already have medevacs on the way? Well, they are not flying yet, but they are being produced. So he's quite early out on the map, but I mean, his upgrades are ready. It's just the medevacs here that will come in a little bit late. Do we have any sentries that could punish bad movements from BYUN? That we do. So, I mean, it's very important that he doesn't get caught out with force fields, since there's no medevacs here just quite yet. Okay, careful. Baiting out one force field. That's nice. Patience a bit too quick with the trigger. And BYUN is waiting here. Okay, that is very good. Alright, there they are. Now we'll have a bit more maneuverability, but it bought enough time for a Colossus to come into the fray as well. Good spread here. Great concave from BYUN. Gets on top of most of this important back line. The Colossus trying its hardest to try and find good targets, but BYUN was pretty well spread out. Does seem like patience will still hold though. BYUN not quite having the firepower at that moment in time. A lot of units still trying to cross the map as well, of course. Oh, another scramble here in the middle. Almost losing the full medevac right there. Could have been a harsh one there for BYUN. Manages to avoid that disaster. Third base for BYUN almost ready to go as well. Of course, has its second development stage afterwards. These Terrans in their fashion always have to redecorate after their initial producing of a building. Guess the Zergs do as well, but... Oh, that's a good catch. Fairly certain those were a couple of Widowmines. Let's see. Yeah, those were a couple of Widowmines. Lovely. Guess the observer over here picks up on it. Whereas your observer over here only picked up on it afterwards. Well, as it was going down still. So the important bit, right? Right. Sure, that will make me good at StarCraft one day. Three medevacs. A lot of stuff overall already available here for patience, of course. BYUN assembling a secondary squad. And patience has one as well. It is only a squad of stalkers, but I mean, they are quite nimble. They might be able to see this type of stuff happening. And then patience can bring over reinforcements as he sees necessary. It might bring too much over, of course, in which case these three medevacs will have a wonderful time overall. Army supply looking pretty good for BYUN here, though. Has the upgrades as well here. 2 upgrades ahead. Gets a good scan on those Colossi. The Stalkers did not move towards the third base. That's where the 3 medevacs are trying to unload right now. 2 of them not quite doing anything with their package, but taking a little bit of time. Not sure. Alright, and gets out of there. It's, okay, alright. That's a little bit of an odd one. Gets the Colossus. That's good. And I guess he denies the upgrade for now as well. So he's going to have actually 4 upgrades as an advantage. Already killed a good amount of probes as well. 21 in total. Gonna have the little Colossus shoot the Stalker trick. Ooh, that's a big new force already. I mean, BYUN's macro may not be the best of all the Terrans out there, but it's still pretty darn on point, right? It's good enough where it allows him to be this more active with his army overall. Stalker's getting a couple of pot shots off, but that's about it. BYUN moves backwards to heal up with those medevacs, brings along the rest of the Terran ensemble. Pretty much the entire circus is coming out right now. The Vikings and the acrobats in their gym suits as well. The ghosts right there coming up. Awkward couple of ghosts. Sorry, DTs walking around. Kind of waltzing straight into the Terran army right there. BYUN being aware. Quick scan does deal with it. DT here in the third base though is becoming a problem. Could get itself quite a couple of SCV kills. It's taking him a little bit because of the upgrades, but it's alright. As long as he holds on here, he should be okay. BYUN managed to hold against the, yeah, okay, that is held over here. I mean, the Nexus went down, which is a big victory overall for BYUN there, I would say. Doesn't have to just straight up kill patience here. He is allowed to now have just the advantage of the better economy. More workers, more bases, more opportunities to expand as he has the entire map control. Patience on the back foot here, having to play off of his shield batteries and such. Doesn't quite have a shield battery here just yet. Is making one, but not sure if he wants to take the fight here. Remember that upgrade advantage never really shrunk that much. It's about to finally, but it's still taking quite a bit of time. The Nexus here, that did get cancelled. So a bit of money does come back into the Bank of Patience, but at this point maybe consider just taking this base, you know? I mean, as he's so busy and preoccupied here, just take the other base. You got the money for it. Right? Although, then again, you might be right with considering that BYUN would be somebody that already has another force being set up right there as well. This time around, BYUN just coming in as an enormous force of nature. Just a tornado wind of ungodly proportions. A lot of probes going down. The main base is in disarray. The rest of the Terran force is going to collapse on the backside here as the Protoss army is awkwardly trying to move in between the buildings here. Trying to get on top of this drop. The drop isn't even going to get... isn't even going to try to escape even. It will just stand there and fight. Oh, good dodge on that disruptor shot. Another Colossus does fall. A couple of ghosts go down with that disruptor though. That disruptor shot also pretty good. Keeping patience in the battle. Still has quite a terrifying army here. With the help of those 4 disruptors. Not a lot of anti-disruptor tech available so far in BYUN's army. That is across the map. I think I do see some attempts to liberate us. Yeah, there we go. 4 of them, but so far not a single one on the map, of course. Does he already have the upgrade? He does have the liberator range. So that's quite nice. He's gonna get himself the 4 upgrade advantage once again in a little bit also. So another thing looking good for BYUN. Patience didn't quite have the courage to step onto the part of the field that kind of belongs to BYUN here. Just, well, at least with maybe a DT here or there. Can even now bullying Patience, his 3rd base once again with a couple of Vikings this time around. Dropping in, getting a couple of kills and just flying back once more. Okay, there we have some Liberators this time around. Also a fresh batch of infantry. Not that many ghosts with this army, actually. I don't see a single one. Do we have ghosts still? No. Okay, there we go. Now they're getting produced. Went there for a while. Looks like BYUN doesn't favor the fight or trying to force the fight into the Protoss. So we'll try to find another way around this. Hold enough back for a stationary force that can hold off the Protoss from advancing into him. With the help of those Liberators and such. But also coming in here with, what is it? 4 medevacs filled with Marauders, Marines. Stimming in, coming for the Nexus and the probes here. Shield battery doesn't really stand a chance. Protoss reinforcements is taking quite a while to get to this towards this location. BYUN trying to make use of the chaos as well by pushing in towards the top side. The bottom side has completely obliterated everything. GG is called. Patience knew that he kind of got out macroed there and got outplayed in the overall battles as well. Brings us into a 2-map advantage for BYUN. In the best of 5, that means we're going to go into the into game number 3 with BYUN already being on match point. So might be a difficult one here for Patience to come back into. Very dry mouth today. Alright. Alright. Let's see. Map number 3 will be on Oxide. Oxide, it's not the biggest map. It's a fairly sized map, but it has a clear, distinct path where everything splits through the middle, right? So you know kind of which bases belongs to who, and that usually means that if you do go into a late game macro situation, it can go very long game. You might be able to push yourself into that situation, and as long as you keep trading efficiently, because it is difficult to take bases off of your opponent, or like corner bases that are unclear to who they really belong, then you know, as long as you play efficiently, you'll usually be able to take the game. Alright, we're starting off in the bottom left side with 2 points on the field. He's the red Terran player. He is BYUN. There we go. Almost. In the top right side, the blue Protoss. Fighting for good game gaming. He is Patience. Okay. Another map, another battlefield. So far, BYUN has been making a lot of use of the triple Rex play, with a lot of Marauders especially. And that seems to be working out rather nicely against the Blink Stalker play so far. Marauders are known to deal a lot of damage, of course, against those Stalkers, so in that way it does make sense. And I guess it comes down to how many Stalkers you really can produce at that time before they really are across the map, and whether or not you're going to be able to get some skirmishes going on in the middle of the map as well with those initial Stalkers. Because you can regenerate those shields, of course, and for the Terran it's difficult, especially in the start as they're running across. Usually they won't have the medevacs just quite yet, and that delays the entire thing. You'll be able to know that it's coming as well, which is also pretty good, you know. Give you an advance warning on being able to put up some shield batteries and such. Kind of checking to see what we're getting from Patience. Looking at Stalker and a Sentry so far. And again, the Twilight Council. You know what? You gotta respect it. Table tournaments, please? What do you mean with the table tournaments? Anyway. So there is something interesting going on here. BYUN opening up twice with the triple Rex. Kind of really bonking the Stalker opening here of Patience. And the Stalker opening is pretty darn good at holding off a drop play. And that's kind of how he's been approaching the Stalkers so far. Expecting Widowmine drops, Hellion drops, this type of sort of stuff. It's just not been happening. Now, it looks like with the Sentry, perhaps he's going to try to figure out what is coming in a little bit earlier. He's going to be quite happy to see that. In fact, this time around, we will have the Widowmine drop coming in here. And he's going to see, well, at least the medevac fly out, which usually does only mean one thing. Right, okay, well, BYUN a little bit flustered. Okay, thinks it's a real oracle. It seems, and it's gone. You thought it would have already vanished, I suppose, if it was a hallucination. Well, I guess he knows the timing for it perfectly, or he kind of got lucky there, perhaps. Oh, a couple of stalkers. They do not stop the Widow Mines so far. The Widow Mines will burrow into the ground, but the probes do manage to scatter and get themselves to safety. Single Widow Mine left behind here as he tries to hold off the line of workers. Workers come back. Widow Mines do as well, though. Probes, once again, seems like... Oh, actually, a bit of a mispull. So, almost getting the... another cluster right there with the other Widow Mine, but... doesn't quite manage to do so. The Widow Mines, they did alright. They did alright for themselves. The bracket. There is no bracket, boys. This is the this is from other tournaments overall. I did not get to see yet, so I'm casting them now. Quite an abysmal fight here for BYUN. Guess he realized he couldn't get away, so he's just kind of trading whatever he has to. Here's the siege tank coming back across. Looks like both players aiming towards getting themselves a third base here. Probe as well. Looking quite likely. The siege tanks a little bit exposed, perhaps. Raven and the Marines not with it. Even then, they were still quite a bit bare on the defenses, maybe. There's no bunker here. There's no real infrastructure to force the Stalkers to stay put after they blink on top of the siege tanks either, right? Sometimes we're losing the Raven as well. Patience really doing a number now onto BYUN. BYUN struggling to keep up with the Stalker aggression, following up after defending the Widowmine drop. And it looks like, with some good proper blink micro, we should have ourselves a victory here. Jumping forward even right now. I mean, it is patience after all. He likes to live on the edge. Still going to be able to do this, so I suppose. Got a bit feisty there, maybe. Ooh, blinking, there we are, on top of the siege tank. Acid sieges, very nice. And GG is gold. Well played. Well played indeed. Okay, so BYUN, beatable. They did use a tactic, of course, that is usually not the best against what Patience was going for. But I like the attempt overall, right? Being able to catch your opponent kind of off guard with the triple racks opening when he's going for the Blink Stalkers. I mean, is he going to do Blink Stalkers a third time after being beaten that badly, kind of in the build order matchup already, right off the bat? I don't think so. But he did, and it worked out for him, so... You know, sometimes just sticking to your guns is all you need to eventually make it work, and it did work that time around. I mean, if he makes it work another time, that would be fantastic for him, of course. I would tie it up and bring us to the ace match. Am I late to the party? You're not late to the party, no. We're just kind of getting started here. Well, we're in map 4, to be fair, the first best of 5 that we're watching overall. Which is BYUN versus Patience. But you're not entirely late to the party, no. You're not late. That is the thing. We're going to go to Gigantha. It's map number 4. A big map. Are we going to... difficult to say what we're going to see here, but... We'll see what we'll see. In the bottom left side, a Team Listerin, the red man himself. He's BYUN. Top right side, the blue Protoss. Fighting for good game gaming. He is Patience. A little bit of Korean going on. Not entirely sure what about, but should be good. We qualified earlier. Innovation, I think, did pretty good. Not sure actually. Probably everyone here has seen it, right? Don't know if I'm spoiling it for anyone actually. Trap. Alright, well there you go. There you go. Now you know. Oh. Keep the camera straight. Focused, clear, cut. There we go. Nice overview of the Protoss space. And then cut back to the action. Probe. Massage. Anyone? Alright. SCV furiously trying to massage back, of course. Doesn't look like they were too keen on continuing the session. Oh, well, maybe the probe. Still looking for a bit more of a cuddle. Alright, well, I mean, didn't really delay anything too much there. Yeah. 20 minerals? 20 minerals, was it? I mean, Patience having a hard time doing anything more than that, I suppose, with what was going on. Getting pushed quite heavily by the other SCVs, so well done there by BYUN. Good SCV management overall. You know, it's what you expect from the Microman himself. Was this scouted? It wasn't. Okay, that is a good thing. Because this is quite something, right? This is Marauders with concussive shell. Alright, so now I've seen some people try to do this before, and I've never really seen it work all too much. There's 2 more barracks behind this, so he will try to most likely get himself a lot more units with this. But it does seem like he's quite committed to the heavy on the Marauders. Gonna immediately start Stimpak as well. And march out with these Marauders. Okay, yeah. I guess this is why you get the concussive shell first, right? So you can walk out with these first 2 initial boys. Sometimes the Protoss can get a little bit greedy. Is that what's happening over here? Not entirely. Guess only 2 Stalkers. Might be an alright way to do with this. Oh, getting a probe right there. But yeah, with probes being pulled as well, I don't think Patience should take too much damage. Just gotta make sure to pull the herd probes back in time. Although it can be difficult with concussive shell there as well. Alright, probes, if they get a good surround here, they do. Ooh, but the Marauder's still chasing that Stalker. Come on, probes. Oh, not quite getting the surround off in time. Trying to do so right now. Realizing, you know what, we are better off just kind of mining and letting the Oracle take care of things. Okay, Patience. Still losing more in that fight overall. 2 stock is quite valuable. Shield battery was not able to be created in time. And yeah. I suppose that did come down to the probes not quite getting the surround on the Marauder as well. So BYUN with good micro overall. Just squeezing on by, continuously giving chase to that Stalker. Ferociously. But yeah, nice movements and nice then targeting of the Stalker, of course, as well. Little bits of micro here. Oh, that could be not that great. Okay, yeah. Status Trap will activate and capture a lot of those Marines. And that, my friends, is what you call a little bit of a whoops. guess that just happens. So BYUN here, I'm not sure what you even do at this moment in time anymore. I mean, he did get the Oracle. He almost got the other Oracle as well. Is he going to continue pushing with this army? Is he going to move back for a bit more reinforcements? It's rough to say. Did he already well, move into this kind of situation here, the scenario that's before us already once before, where he got status trapped suddenly. But he still did kill one of the Oracles. Let's see. We'll just keep on pushing forwards. +1 and combat shields are about to finish up at a wonderful time for him. Blink still not ready. So that's the big deal. We do have the concussive shell as well. Remember, only a single Marauder though. Blink about to finish up. Looks like BYUN is not having any of it so far. He's going to have to stim again if he does want to get away. The Blink Stalkers are getting closer and closer. They do have Blink now. And get the Marauder. Alright. Five more gateways overall. Gonna continue along Gateway Tech Avenue. Still a scary army for BYUN though. I mean, even with all that potential reinforcements, I suppose. Charge upgrade is going to be good. Ooh, that status trap. That status trap is really good. This might actually do him an enormous favor here. I think he does need to try and figure out how to force a battle right now with the rest of the units. Otherwise, they're still just going to combine. And then he's back in the same situation he was in before. Doesn't have enough energy for another status trap here. We don't have any other ones. This shield battery overcharge comes in, but I don't know. Looks like a rough one overall. The bio mages barely win out here. The medevacs are low on energy though, of course, and the bio is a little bit low on the HP. But still, Widow Mines remain within this composition as well, making the fight even more difficult for Patience. Patience trying to kind of run by, but no, not quite aware of the Widow Mines, it would seem. Gets a bit of the bio down as well once more. Hasn't lost that many probes just quite yet. But looking at what else is coming across the map, looking at the army supply right now. I mean, this battle is one thing, but BYUN, he's got so much more going for him behind this. It seems that Patience will be taking a tumble here. And unfortunately for him, we'll have to, well, consent defeat. Concede defeat. As this is not looking all too great. Though he did hold. Or did he? Never ends with BYUN, does it? At least not when you expect it to. Couple of probes. Still went down somewhere. BYUN is going to have to start investing a bit more into the late game as well, I suppose. It seems like he wasn't really considering that the game would go on that much longer either anymore. But now making a switch, we'll go for the next set in his stacking up, which are the upgrades. And probably also drilling class, of course. Zealot counter-attack happening as BYUN is deciding to, well, continue moving across the map here. Some reinforcements will have to deal with it, but another Zealot run-by comes in and takes their attention away. BYUN, once more with a rather terrifying army supply. A lot of it is still at home, though, of course. And so is some of Patience within the Zealots across the map. Standing near the shield batteries. Good couple of force shields there, catching a couple of units. Rest of the army of BYUN. Actually, oh, he's moving backwards once again. There are more Zealot run-bys happening as well. So that might be the reason. He just lost 10 workers here. And he's about to lose a couple more. The supply depot's actually helping out a ton right now. Patience dealing with the Widow Mines quite nicely. A good scan on the DT, trying to hide it with the hold position there, but no cigar. The fight is happening on the other side of the map. That does seem to be a superior count of army for the Protoss for now. Oh, really good force fields there, shutting out the retreat from a lot of those units. Patience. He is definitely still giving it a fight here. As BYUN is, well, struggling to close it out. Has, of course, 98 army supply versus 48. And has 10 workers above in supply over a Protoss opponent. As he is the Terran. You know, 3 command centers still spewing out mules. Quite a bit of extra mining going on there, I would imagine. Actually, you know, that's not too bad. 4th base is being taken by Patience as well. Okay, well... I mean, he's still in a bad position, guys, don't get me wrong. One thing didn't look as bad as the other things, but... still looking pretty bad. This attack by Patience here did cause BYUN to reconsider his own movements on the map, starting to move this army back towards his own base. A recall brings back most of the forces as well. A lot of Liberator harassment here, a bit of Widow Mine action as well. Looks like they did get 11 probes in total. Once again solidifying the army, the worker count dominance here for BYUN. Patience just keeps falling for the same tricks here, perhaps. Bit of harassment here, bit of harassment there. BYUN knows he's in the driver's seat, and it looks like he's finding a really good way to kind of maintain that same ample muscle that he's got ready to give in this fight. It's coming up. There we are. It's a lot of army supply here for BYUN. Will it be enough though with the force fields? It looks like it will be. Patience admitting defeat. GG is called. BYUN takes the series here 3-1.